What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy Undemic. Today we are releasing the second part of map tips. I hope you guys found that video helpful last week. Again, the goal of this video was basically to show you guys some movements around the map using structures to kind of outplay your enemies. The goal here is basically to give you guys some ideas to travel the least expected way that your enemy might think you would go. As always, the least expected method of travel is going to be the best and one that's going to surprise your enemy the best. So it'll give you the best advantage to kill those enemies and get an upper hand in, whatever mode you're playing. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it off here. We're right where we left off in Rivertown. Alright, gonna move right along to Rivertown. There are a ton of these buildings, these pizzerias. You can actually use this little center dividing wall to jump up on the red awning, and you're kind of like on the opposite side of where the ladder is. Most people are not gonna expect you to be coming from that direction if they're guarding that little ladder area. So that is pretty much the only option to get up on that second roof, that roof, unless you have grapples. Alright, staying in Rivertown, we're going to go across the street from the pizzeria to Mark's Home and Garden. There are a bunch of these like little boxes on the front side that you can jump on to get high ground on the roof. Or if you are on the other side, you can actually get on the roof. But here's the trick. There's this little piece of wood that's sort of plopped against the wall. If you don't use it, you cannot jump up on the roof there. So you actually have to run. It kind of gives you a little bit more of a jumping advantage if you use that little piece of wood. And you should be able to get up onto the second story there. Going over to the church, which is right next door. Not sure, I mean, there might be some sort of play advantage to getting to the roof here, but you can actually open the door, jump up to that roof. I was having trouble here, obviously, but you can get up to that roof and, I guess you're kind of exposed right here, but you can get up to the roof. That was the point there. Okay, moving along to the smaller red barn on Rivertown. Obviously, there is a red barn in the farm area. This should be fairly obvious. There's sort of these bags and piles of wood that you can use to get up to the roof. And from that roof, you can actually break the glass, get inside, whatever, if someone's below you. That's one option to get, or actually, that's really the only option. Once you're inside, though, there is an area you can actually jump up on, sort of on the back end of the building. If you're trying to camp, or you're trying to outplay someone, wait someone out, or whatever, you can jump up onto this little storage shelf that looks like it has a bunch of feed and wood on it. And as you can tell, it's really dark, so it's going to be really hard to see someone there. So just keep a lookout if you're walking to this building. Okay, also on Rivertown, there is sort of this brick building on the, I think it's the sort of at the four-way intersection. You can land there from the drop, but it's really hard to get up on it, if you're jumping from the next building over. And so the little trick that I've actually found here is you have to be sort of on the right edge of that building. And what you have to do is you actually have to keep looking down as you run towards that building. And I think the theory here is, I think it's because so you can know when the last moment is you can jump. As you can tell right there, like I jumped at the very last moment. But if you're looking straight ahead, you might jump like 2 feet back, right? And you're going to be way short. So if you just keep looking down, jump at the very last moment possible, you should be able to get on to that building that's at the four-way cross there in Rivertown. So across the map, there's sort of these little things hanging, kind of plopped up against little buildings. So you can see right here, there's this little pallet, and if I try to jump on the roof, I actually can't. Same thing as Mark's Home and Garden. If you just use this, so run up against it, it'll actually give you a little bit more lift, and you'd be able to get onto that roof. So if you're trying to get onto the other side to outplay somebody, that's probably the best option for you. On the other side, there's that trash can, which you can use to get to the opposite side as well. Pushing right along to the big red barn over in the farm area of the map, there's actually these little logs outside. It's like a pile of logs you can use to sort of run and jump into that second story. What you want to do is you don't want to be right next to the wall. You sort of want to be like a little off the wall a little bit. So as you can see right here, I was kind of stuck right near the wall, so you want to move to the right a little bit. Do a running start, and as you run, you sort of want to turn in at the very top of your jump, like right there, and you'll be able to get into that second story window. And I've used that so many times to outmaneuver people, because people just don't expect you to come in through that way, especially if they don't hear grapples. It's a really great way to catch somebody sleeping. All right, over to the center of the map, we have firing range. And if you're over by the little portables, the tin portables kind of on the, what is that, the north side of firing range, on the back side, you can actually jump up onto the roof there. And so if you're trying to outplay somebody, obviously they're going to be looking at the doors for you to come in because they're going to be hearing you. But you can actually get onto the roof, and there's these holes right here in the ceiling, which you can use to, use it as cover or use it to outplay whoever's in there. It's kind of hard to see just because it's really dark, but it's an option. Moving right along to the wood area, kind of at the center of firing range, you can use these sandbags on the edge to sort of jump up onto that sniper tower in the middle. Once you're up there, you can kill whoever is in there if they're camping. You can jump up onto the center wood area right there if someone is camping, watching the stairs right there. At the same time, you can also go the opposite way, and I obviously butchered that jump right there, but what you can do is if you come from an angle, you can actually jump up. Okay, so I messed up a couple times there. No worries, we're gonna get it third time's a charm. So if you come from an angle, you can actually jump up onto that roof from a different way. So if you're trying to, I don't know, get to the other side of this structure, that's one way you can do it. Once you're on top here, you can actually scale these buildings from this very left corner. You can jump and actually hit the middle building 3. And from there, you can actually get to the little wooded tented area, also kind of in the middle of firing range. So those are options for you if you're trying to stay high ground, stay on the roofs. All right, moving along to array. You can actually use that, again, with the doors. You can actually use the door to go the opposite end of the ladder, sort of on this little rectangular building in the middle of the map. Another option if you're trying to get to the second floor is use the truck sort of parked outside of the rectangular building. If you get up onto the roof of the truck, you can do a running start and get into that second story. If you're trying to catch someone from behind or they're just not watching that area, that is a good spot to do that. And then moving along to the left side of this rectangular building, there's another window, and you can actually open the door, and what that'll allow you to do is sort of have, a little bit of height to get into that window right there. So that's another option, again, that second story landing in the rectangular building of array. On to cargo docks. So with version 1.18 update, which was the Days of Summer update, the back of the boat actually now has stairs, so you can actually go up this area. On the back area, you're sort of limited to that third landing, but if you jump up onto these exhaust vents, you can actually get a little higher up. So if you're trying to outplay somebody and they're just running around looking for you, you can use those exhaust vents or exhaust pipes, I guess, to get up onto that very top end at the back side of the boat. Okay, moving right along the factory area, which is one of my favorite spots to drop. Instead of trying to get into or on the top of this building in the middle, which is a smaller rectangular building, you can actually use the train car and this beam system or beam structure to sort of come up the side of the building instead of using the ladders on either end. Moving along to the much larger rectangular building at factory, I think they actually fixed this with this update, because I was never able to do this in the previous map or previous versions where I could get onto the very top roof. And to do this, you actually have to jump up onto these, they look like air conditioning units, and get to the very right, sort of look down and just jump to the very right corner of it. If you're not at that very right corner, for whatever reason, like the distance is a little different, and you're not gonna, or even the height of the roof is a little different, and you're not gonna make it. So just make sure you're on the very right side, and you'll be able to get to that very top of the roof. If you land your helicopter there and you need to get back to it, whatever. Inside of that building, there is actually, coming up on the stairs, a lot of people like to drop in here and sort of start looting, getting weapons. But you can actually use the little banister, the little handrail right here, to jump up onto this unit on the wall, jump up onto this other little thing that's attached to the wall, and get up onto this, I'm not even sure what this structure is, but it's like right in the middle of the big rectangular building. But as you can see, I have good positioning for anyone trying to come up into this building, and I've used it a few times to, catch people by surprise. Pushing on to fracking tower. So there are actually 3 buttons you can use to activate the basement opening. One is on the north end of town between these 2 reservoirs. The second location is actually in this building, the A1 building, kind of in the middle of the map where the actual tower is. You can press that to open those two, I guess, basement doors. And the final area is actually inside the basement. You can use it to open it up. You have to be down there already, but here's a little trick. You see this little red light on the back building sort of going down the back way to get to the basement? If that is red, no one has opened that basement opening yet. If that is green when you arrive, that means someone has already opened it and there might be people below. Last but definitely not least, we are at turbines. So you can actually use these little scaffoldings on the outside to hop up on and get to, I guess, what would be the second level. There really is no like second level inside this building, but the windows are pretty high up, so you can use these little scaffoldings on the outer perimeter of the building to sort of scale the higher windows, get onto the awnings, and sort of get in, through the least common path traveled. Alright guys, that's going to do it for Map Tips Part 2. We're going to wrap it up right there. If you guys found anything useful in this video, just let me know in the comments what you found useful and where you used it and how it helped you. I'm kind of interested to hear from you guys. At the same time, if you guys have not done so already, I'd appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And without further ado, I am going to go into a little bonus reveal here. If you did not know where the Blackout map is actually located, we're going to do this reveal right now. Alright guys, so the Blackout map actually appears to be in California, and particularly Southern California. And so if you're by construction site and you're on that road next to construction site, you'll actually see that the freeway is marked California 1. So California 1 is actually referring to Pacific Coast Highway, or PCH, in California, and it pretty much runs from San Diego all the way north along the coast. So it makes sense that it's right by the coast on the western side of the map. At the same time, it'll take you all the way down to cargo docks, which I think is supposed to be maybe like Long Beach, where the cargo and freight and docks are. Moving right along to the boxing ring south of Rivertown, you will actually see on the bills that are posted on the side of the building that it says Southern California Convention Center actually on one of them. So that's the second proof. Moving right along, if you are in Rivertown and you look at the auto center, kind of at the corner of one of the four-way stops, if you look at the sign on the front of it, it'll actually say Rivertown, California, which I think is kind of an homage to Riverside, California. But at any rate, there you have it. The Blackout map is actually located in Southern California. That'll do it for me. Until then, peace!